Hello, it's me again, der Bayer, and we're back in our automation campaign today, working on Cisalpina in the 1970s. Last time we designed a new supercar and it's now in engineering to be released in 1973. And in this episode we will see the release of the Futurismo, our GT car, which will hopefully also do well in Gasmea and in Helvetia. The Montone will be replaced by the Futurismo in a few months and the Nuova Via then in 1973 by the Cuneo. So those are of low priority as of now. We still have our cash cow, the G2, our nice entry-level sports kit car, and the G2 will still run for a little bit. So this time we need to make sure that we sell what we want to sell in Gasmea, and therefore we need to make a facelift of these old cars. And we also need to make sure that future facelifts of these cars meet the emissions regulations. So to determine what's actually important, let's take a look at our markets. And let's start with Gasmea. Demographic sizes. We see that there is no supercar market yet in Gasmea. It has opened up, but we don't have any potential customers. That means to me, I won't do a facelift for the Nuova Via just for Gasmea. The emissions are still fine until it's being discontinued, so the Nuova Via will not get an update. Also we see that there's no light sports market yet, so our cash cow, the G2, you could argue that we don't want a facelift here as well, just because there's no market for it. But it's already a little bit dated, a facelift might be necessary anyway. And we could take a look at emissions regulations so that it's able to run a little bit longer. So G2 maybe, I'd say. And the Futurismo, of course. So the Futurismo will be released very soon, but we will need a very quick facelift, I guess, to enter the GT market here in Gasmea. Also, it's important for Helvetia, basically the only car that we can properly sell maybe in Helvetia. And maybe we can even sell some G2s here. And we take a look at the safety regulations. Oh no, the safety 30 in Helvetia. So the G2 probably is out for Helvetia just because of safety. So that's the main goal for now. Get a facelift done for the G2. Let the Nuova Via run. And as soon as the Futurismo is released and we have mostly finished our pre-orders, we'll then work on a quick facelift for the Futurismo as well, having emissions regulations in mind. And then what we also see is that we have turbocharger in the works. We want to build our research platform for the turbocharger, and there I think about a Group 5 prototype of the Futurismo. Group 5 racing as silhouette race cars started in about 1976, so we still have a little bit of time and we will take the time to learn about turbochargers properly. But yeah, first project, G2. We need a new facelift, and for the G2 we have two cars. We have the competition version and we have the road going version. First iteration was actually the Formula 2 car. So we see that we are still scoring well even without changing anything, but the safety is definitely down. Let's take a look again. At least in Fuinia we can let it run until 1980. That's good. And the Lua also has very low safety requirements. We might even make it possible to sell in Gasmea until 1980. So for the engine, this one has our 1.3 liter inline 4. I think the platform supports 1.5. We'll take a look at that, and we might want to upgrade it, also switch to other fuel and add a catalytic converter. We have labeled it as 1.5 liter, but it's actually 1.3. It's 1.3 liter. We have decreased the stroke here, but we can increase it again just to see where we started, 100 horsepower. So if we now add catalytic converters and stuff, this won't be a quick facelift. But I think that's alright, as Gasmea is not the target market for this, not the major target market, so it can take a little bit longer. So fuel wise we go for 91 RON, and immediately we lose a little bit of power. And now we can add the two-way catalytic converter. We didn't even have a muffler on there. But I think I will add at least a straight through, because it will hopefully increase the score for a few markets. But we see the score has gone down because we have lost about 20 horsepower. Let's gain some of it back with a bigger exhaust. But that's as far as we can go basically with the exhaust. And the rest needs to be done with other measures. Emissions wise it's still alright, but I think in 1976 we will get harsh emissions. Let me check. Yeah, in 76 Fuenia and Gasmea will go to 6, and I should make sure that we fulfill this. Question is just how far are we away, and we are pretty far away from hydrocarbons and carbon monoxide. And basically this means to me with carburetors we probably don't have any chance at all. Let's take a look if a 4-barrel could do the job. Oh yeah, the carbon monoxide is within limits, but the hydrocarbons are off. So, mass market model, but maybe mechanical fuel injection is necessary. Ouch. And then we're green all the way. Let me see if I can make the 4-barrel work. Just checking the eco carb as well. With the eco carb we are pretty close, so we might be able to keep it in the carburetors, but I think the throttle response is just really bad. So we were here. Oh, it's actually okay. Let us try to make this eco carb work. That might actually be interesting. We can certainly make it larger and gain a little bit of power there. And what I also want to do, of course, is to increase the engine capacity to make up for the lost power. Yeah, I think we will go for a 1.4 liter in this case. We will upbore it a little bit by 1 millimeter. And we're almost at the original horsepower. And with a larger manifold we can actually exceed it. I don't want to sacrifice too much of the low end. More throttle response with more fuel. Oh, and then we are critical with regards to emissions. Somehow I've lost the emissions target again, but just by a little bit. Can even go for hyper-eutectic cast. That's not a big difference, and it gives us much more leeway with regards to emissions. 12%, yes, I think that's the way to go. And we have to stick to cast parts here because it's our own engine factory and I cannot afford forged works yet. But I think we can make it work. We can still rev quite a bit, 7,900. Alright, 103 horsepower. That's the Competizione version. It will still use the Stradale engine. It's just that this is our convertible. Or not convertible, Spider, Roadster, whatever. Oh, now I fail emissions again. Too much fuel. Too much compression. Reduce a little bit more fuel for more margin. And then we're good. 2%. And yeah, what else can help? Maybe 5 gears might actually be helpful in this case. First gear is quite long, we don't have any wheel spin at all. I think it's alright, second gear goes to 100. The first gear can be a little bit shorter. And then we just change the spread. Our score has gone down quite significantly, but not because of the gear change, it was down already. Let's give it a little bit wider tires. Brakes are still pretty good. We could give it semi-clad, which will improve everything except for weight and cost, of course. I think it's a good choice. So for track budget, it's actually better to choose the race option here. Safety is still above 20. And can give it different dampers, which will also help a little bit. So this is quite an extensive upgrade now. Yeah, score is not excellent. Still suffering a little bit from low reliability and so on. But I think for the competition version this is pretty good. And now for the Stradale. Also has the new engine already. And an upgrade in the entertainment package. And then we have a pretty good offering here in Light Sports. So for the sport market, this already fails some safety standards. Yeah, it's definitely in Helvetia, there's a sports market. So we could sell it there. But even with advanced safeties, we don't get there. So let's just leave it as it is. And then we don't sell it in Helvetia, that's alright. Still pretty quick facelift for the amount of changes that we did. I want to optimize it a little bit more. 6 million. 8 million for the car. 2 years here as well. 4.5 million for the engine. Let's make it a little bit more expensive. And improve our tooling. The production level still is alright. Don't need more cars. Maybe a little bit more. Let's go to 1.5 shifts and see where this gets us. And a small upgrade to the factory. The costs are pretty high then, but we have a pretty good outlook. Currently it costs 21.7 and 20. With these prices I get more profit even though I sell less, and then I'm at roughly 1.5 shifts. Let's go with this. Oh, yep, now it's expensive again, 16.9 million. And I think I want to have the loan for that. Let's go for 5 years. We get a pretty good deal. So we just pay 3 million on top of that. But I think I need this one. And then we don't do anything with Nova Via, we don't do anything with Montone. We wait for the Futurismo to be finished. Okay, Futurismo has been finished. We have 3.5 months worth of production as pre-orders. If we do a facelift now, we will lose those. I don't want to do that. So let's just crank up our production, and yeah, we can definitely crank that up to 2 shifts and yeah, get those down, and then we do the facelift to make it available in Gasmea. Yeah, the supercharger is very close now. We can turn that down, save a little bit of money. I just want to time it that we have time for the quick facelift and then do our research project. But maybe we'll leave it at 2. We have the money to leave it somewhere. Yeah, I want to do a little bit of research funding just to get our overall costs down and things like that. Futurismo is now down. And the new shed has a quality issue. Small issue, high chance. So do nothing is not an option, of course. Let's do the full recall. And I need to check which car this was. The Nova Via. Okay. very late recall in its lifetime. Let's do the quick facelift just to make it available in Gasmea. Therefore I don't need to do any modification. Just leave it as is. Go through factory. No changes. Don't know what the pricing was, but definitely more than this. Maybe something like this. Stradale engine is not produced. I'm not sure if this works from a game mechanics point of view, so we already have a new project where we replaced the variant. We'll have to see if it's still being produced afterwards. I make a safety copy. Okay, yeah, the old factory still was there, it's still producing the old engine variant. Very good. We can take a look at our sales now. And we see that we are now selling a little bit also in Gasmea. And we see that the Futurismo actually really is sold there. Also GT Premium, very nice. And what's our car for the sports market? Also Futurismo, sport budget, light sport is not sold. Okay. Yeah, of course the G2 is also not sold yet because this project will take a little bit longer. But it's there within a year. Okay, company is looking very well. Credit score also has increased. Yeah, we repay loan, we get a loan. So the big thing here is of course the loan for the new G2 upgrade. And we still pay off, yeah, these 700,000 K are for the engine factory. But now let's do something fun. Next facelift for the Futurismo. So we want to have a new version for the road, which will fulfill all emissions requirements, and also a competizione, and that's a group 5 version. Let's start with the boring thing first. Maybe let's give it a different color because I don't like it anymore. A little bit of blue, same blue as for the new car, for a new supercar. And yeah, for the engine we can just choose an existing engine because we have already built a new version of the V8 engine with the catalytic converter. And then just improve. Safety is above 30 still, which is excellent. And now let's try to make it a decent GT car. Entertainment needs an upgrade and then immediately scores go down dramatically. Maybe invest a little bit of quality as well. Still, the unassisted steering is the best. The hydropneumatic suspension actually would be the better one, but this is Cisalpina, we cannot use that. Would like to know why there's this red thing here. There's something that's not too good. Emissions are fine. Well, until 85. Safety is also fine. So yeah, I don't really know what to improve. Score is decent. I think it will be better once we crank up the price. But let's leave it for now. And then work on our competition version. And this will now be a very fun project, I think. So first of all, let's paint it red. And also we have discussed in the comments that we need to upgrade this old paint a little bit and give it a little bit more saturation. I think it looks really nice. And then this will get the proper race car treatment now. So the group 5 treatment. That means we need to make a new racing version out of this. We have an old competition version lying around here. This one had 300 horsepower. This will now get a turbo. Back in the racing regulations there was this turbo factor of 1.4. That means your engine capacity has to be multiplied with 1.4 if you use a turbocharger. And if I want to race in the 3-liter division, then I have a maximum engine capacity of 2.142 cubic centimeters. So this means I need to de-stroke this one quite a bit. So a 3-liter engine. There were categories also for above 3 liters, but let's go for 3 liter because Cisalpina never was known for huge capacity engines. And then add twin turbo to it. And it's knocking nicely. I want to achieve, let's say, 500 horsepower at least. We start with low boost and then work our way up. Low compression, of course, as well. And this one obviously needs mechanical fuel injection. So we only have to gain 310 horsepower now. It doesn't look like the turbo is spooling yet. So basically I just make it a little bit smaller. You could also work with our graphs here. I see it's spooling when it was that big. Here you see that it's not spooling, so you have to get it up and running. But keep away from that side, else you will get surge. And then as you add boost, you will get more problems. Yeah, valve float a little bit. Let's check our valves. Probably need lower cam. That's already looking better. Definitely fully stiff springs. And yeah, what I also of course need, okay, it already has F-gas. I will build this competition version only for the Lua, because they have the lowest safety requirements, they have the best fuel, and this is not a model where we will earn a lot of money. Let's just have some fun here. If we can sell 1 or 2 engines, then I'm already happy. Okay, cranking up the exhaust also helps, but of course this is not a power band from 8 to 9,000. We need to have at least 2,500 or 3,000 RPM of usable RPM range, even in racing conditions. And of course for road cars you need much more. So this is not a road car, this is not a good car that we are building right now. Boost, 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 2 bars. Let me have 2 bars, please. Okay, we have 2 bars, but no reliability at all. Because, oh yeah, mechanical stress, a little bit. We can reduce that with a higher AR ratio. So we're well within limits here, but still reliability 10. And we lost all of the nice power band again. We definitely have too much power now. 1.9 definitely would be enough boost. The compressor is very hot. Boost graph looks nice, but how do I get rid of all of the issues that I have? Conrod crank, power limit. Yeah, forged light pistons probably are not the best option. Forged heavy already helps a little bit. Forged Conrods. The crank is also giving up. Okay. Better crank, and now I just have the power limit issues, but that's understandable, I think. And nothing that we can change. It's just becoming very hot. Still 500 horsepower. Usable power band starts at somewhere here. Yeah, 6-7. More than 2000 RPM usable boost. Yeah, I think let's leave it at this. At around 6.4, 6.5 we get nicely into the power band. I think that should work very well during racing conditions. It's not exploding immediately. And yeah, overall it's alright, I think. We aim for hypercar here, because they have money. In case we sell something, we might be able to make a profit. And let's just see if it's actually possible. A problem with this body, as I have recognized, is that I don't think we get wider tires. Oh, we do with smaller rims and also with larger tires. But I will definitely need to make them even wider with advanced rim settings. But we will also need downforce, of course, so this is not Group 5 levels. This is a proper two-seater, and now the score for Hyper is actually already pretty good. I would actually get rid of entertainment, but that will be a big issue. So let's say if you buy the car, you can buy a radio. Race would be nice to have. It will get sport interior, just so that we have a chance to sell something. Safety wise, it's still pretty good. Brakes are suffering from brake fade. That's expected. Normal springs. Overall, it's already pretty good. Can slam it a bit more. Before I now go into visual design, I want to check out if I can sign the actual project off, because we still have an engine variant in engineering. So this 2.8 liter here is still in engineering, and I don't know if I can sign off another project while this one is running. So I think we can continue, and it's not a problem to have these two engine projects running in parallel. Don't know if the system was designed to work like that, but it does work. So let's continue. And now I feel comfortable to work on the visual upgrade. But before we do that, maybe let's go into the other version and just add our Gasmea features. Even though they don't have the highest safety requirements, actually Helvetia has those. We maybe just exchange the bumpers to make it visible that this is the new generation. Yeah, I think it somewhat looks alright. And I won't spend more time on this, as I finally want to get started on the Group 5. For Group 5 you basically cannot go too much over the top. Basically have to do it. So I'm looking forward to do that. First of all, let's get rid of our number plates. Then let's get rid of the exhaust. We will have side pipes. Then let's look for new rims. And we will definitely need to manipulate our wheels a little bit. So first of all, let's make them slicks. Yeah, the rim size can be done here. I will make the rims larger. Even though we don't have those kind of sizes available. But it definitely looks much nicer like this. Then also for the rear we need, of course, wider tires. And no, that's not too much. I'd rather say that's the bare minimum that we need. I'd like to paint also the rims white. Bumper needs to go. We will use a different lip, but maybe let's work with this one as of now. And that's as low as it will be. Probably just use bumper bars for the side, but let's not forget our side pipes. Yeah, let's maybe work on improving our wheel arches first. Maybe let's first morph our body so that we can get the wheels out. Alright, the side is somewhat complete, except for the part with the side exhaust. Turns out to be quite tricky. We need to find a solution there to fill that hole. Now for some diffuser stuff. So diffusers basically were in its infancy back in the day. The Zackspeed Capri had a very boxy one. BMW and Porsche didn't have any diffuser as far as I can tell. The M1 at some point, the March M1 had one. So I will now add one, mostly because I also need something down here to cover up this weird part. We shouldn't overdo it and we shouldn't have too many elements in it. So we have some boxy stuff in here. Definitely get rid of the carbon fiber. All the way outside, or do we just like this and then cut away and patch and don't know. So I think from the width and realism point of things, this would be better. Clean it up a little bit in the rear. And yeah, definitely we also need a humongous rear wing. And we also will build that one completely in 3D. So here the rules basically were, it may not be visible from the front. So don't make it too high. And the width should not be more than the cabin. So the Zackspeed guys basically made the central bit right nicely behind the cabin and attached the side bits to still have the full width to the fenders and said, oh, those are integral part of the fenders and definitely not wings. So we'll do the same. According to the regulations, it would need to be something like this. But of course, this is better. And let's try to make this work. Something like this, maybe. And then we somehow need to attach it. Certainly doesn't look very stable. Not very robust. Okay, one thing, definitely needs more reinforcements. Then I still need something here in the bumper area. That's probably the best solution that I have right now. Still can improve it a bit. And if you don't know what to do, take a bumper bar. Not perfect, but it will do the job. Alright, I think the rear is decent. Rid of the badge for weight savings. Probably should close this gap here as well. So things left to do is this side pipe part thing and the front, of course. Okay, and now yeah, I'm not too happy about this part yet. So then we replace the fuel cap and take care of the front. We definitely need some additional cooling for this engine. And a little bit more detailing on the rear wing. Make it adjustable. And also add this is the rear wing and this is the fender part separators. And finally, of course, my favorite thing, the interior. And then a towing eye, of course, because I think this car will break down. And then we are pretty much done. Just replace the original mirrors with more aerodynamic ones. It's basically the same that we also had on the Cuneo. Alright, I think that's it. Pretty much finished. Pretty happy with how it looks. Definitely looks brutal. And cannot wait to see how it drives, but let's first go through all of the tabs again. I think first gear is probably a little bit short still, especially then second gear is pretty short, and that's my main concern. So I want to not drop too much when we shift from second to third. I just added a bit more front grip, hoping to improve our cornering, but actually it totally kills drivability, and I don't know why, because actually steering graph is looking better, but definitely kills sportiness and drivability. So the steering graphs all look okay. Maybe I can improve the fast steering graph just with suspension settings. Definitely I want to have some kind of green rating here. I just gain much higher score with lower downforce in general. Don't know if the tires are having problems. So the 0 to 100 time is definitely pretty bad, but once we reach that speed, it's definitely going. Yeah, the gearbox reliability is low due to excessive torque. I don't think I can change that. Just with quality, but it doesn't really help. So this car is not good, but I wanted to build it. So I forgot to show how the car actually sounds. Not too bad, I think. I also played around a little bit with the sliders here so that we get some nice sounds in BeamNG. So let's see if that actually works. I think it's the first time that I ever touched them. So this trim is ready. I quickly want to double check the other one, just because the score is so low. We're actually pretty good everywhere except for reliability. Yeah, that's pretty insane. Reliability score is so bad. Even the cooling slider doesn't really help. Missed the gas monotubes here. This is a little bit extra score, but it's still pretty bad. It's good enough. It won't be a very good car as well, but we have other good cars in the lineup. Okay, so when do we want to be on the market with this? Group 5 racing basically started in 1976, so we have 4 full years and 5 extra months. That would be 53 months, so we have plenty of time, and maybe I just use that time finally to make this more reliable. It will cost us a bunch for racing and nothing else. Group 5 in the racing shed and the other one here in the farm. If we want to properly hit the GT market, we would lose money with our GT car. So 30k is below the price that it costs to produce. And it's insane that this crazy racing version is just a little bit more expensive. And in the Lure we have a budget of 360k. So we definitely should charge 200 if not more. Yeah, I'd rather do it a little lower and sell a few more. I can spend a little on these sliders, I think, on the automation slider at least. There we go. 20 million on a project that's not really helping, and the road going version is pretty bad. But yeah, let's do it. 20 million in 53 months is not so much money. It's basically 400k per month, and I think we should be able to afford that. So let's for now not take any loan anymore. Okay. Then I'd say let's let the G-Dual be released and see how it does. And then we will head to the racetrack. And a quality issue, very nice farm shed. Small issue, medium discovery chance. Let's risk it with a quiet recall, because I don't want any reputation damage anymore. Our reputation is so bad. Also, let's check out our sales for now. We have a little bit now going on also in Hedvisia and a little bit in Gasmea. The lure is looking excellent. So far we sell 140 G2 and 62 Futurismo. From the G2, many are already from the new generation. We still sell 22 Nova Vias. By the way, Cuneo was the name we actually settled on in the poll, so I don't have to rename it anymore. And actually the pronunciation is Cuneo, I said it wrong the whole time, and we are already having 3 spider pre-orders. Very nice. Okay, now we're definitely on a spending spree. And we also are on a collection spree of the Nova Via. Sales are slowly dropping and we have many months of production worth in stock. 18 months and 32, so we can definitely stop production. Yeah, and there we are back at profits. So these 17 months definitely are enough until the end. Still no taxes to be paid, very good. And we are getting closer to the facelift release. And there we are. Update for the G2. We still have a little bit of the old one in stock. And the new one is selling really nicely. Look at that. We can barely match the pre-orders that we have. So we might want to increase our minimum shifts to 2. Get rid of those pre-orders and then also get rid of the delivery delay penalty. Actually it's at 0 right now. But I think we can sell more when we produce more. Shoveling in the money, and I think the taxman will definitely come and visit us at the end of the year. They are buying the Competizione like crazy. It's really the club racer of your choice. We cannot keep up with production. Nice. So yeah, G2 is there. Let's wait a little bit more for the Cuneo, but I need to start and get rid of the money a little bit at least. So where do we want to invest? Where do we see the company in the future? Definitely as a turbocharger using company. I'd like to have really good top end, but the immediate gains are not there. Probably I want to have knowledge in chassis technology. For example, carbon fiber. I want to have that. Yes, the chassis material carbon fiber. That's the one I want early. So we definitely go in chassis. And also into body, so that we get nice bodies earlier. And maybe let's also, the fuel system always kills us, and this will help extremely with reliability. So not a real strategy I have here, I just put something in there so that we don't lose all of our money to the taxman. Still, it's good if we save a little bit of money so that we can build more of our own factories in the future. And I also think the G2 needs a replacement. That's probably the next car that we will build new. So the basics are from 58. It's definitely time for a successor there. And oh yeah, taxman takes 1.5 million from us. Could be worse. We're getting closer to release. We will sell off all of our coupes from the Nova Via, but probably not all of the spiders. Alright, there we are. With the Cuneo. Leaded fuel will be gone in 5 years, but all of our cars are clean now. Even the Futurismo. No, the Futurismo not yet, but it will be clean in 75. And now let's do one more and see how well the Cuneo sells. 1 million gained with 40 cars sold. That's pretty good. And we have a discovery of our quality issue from the Nova Via. It doesn't stop, it just doesn't stop. Okay, now we have a little bit more loan repayment again. We may not forget that this income is now boosted by the Nova Via that we already have in stock. But I think that's a good point to stop. Just check the sales breakdown. Supercars. 29, and there we are actually really on the first page. We are a pretty good supercar manufacturer. And that's the Cuneo, yeah. Cuneo Berlinetta is going into here. And if we take a look at a convertible supercar, then we have 11 of the Spider and are also ranked pretty well. So things are going great. We are shuffling in the money again, mostly driven by the G2, but also the Cuneo has a really strong start. But now it's time to go racing and spend all that money on track. See you there. Alright, there we are. Car is looking pretty good here as well. Let the engine heat up a little bit. What I did is slap on slicks, of course. Definitely need those slicks here. Let's see how it goes. 213 is the goal. Just a little bit of a gap there in the power band. Car feels good, but it's becoming increasingly difficult as the boost kicks in. Oh god. That was the boost. Let's try again. Ran a little bit wide there. Don't shift up because it will drop the RPMs too much. So definitely you have to watch on keeping the engine in boost. That will also limit the surprises. Clutching in a little bit just to get the revs up. Yeah, anything first and second gear is basically undrivable. Oh god. I don't know if we can beat the 230 by the Nuova Via Competizione, which we also ran on slicks. Ah, no. Is this worse than the Cuneo? From the pure handling, not, because it's front engine, it drives quite well, but the boost when it kicks in, it surprises you and catches you off guard. That's the problem. A little bit of clutch again, just to get it off the line. I hear something scraping. It's the front splitter, I guess. Quick. I lift off here a little bit. Stay on boost. Face this corner. this is definitely work. Oh god. Don't kill me. Yeah. Use the clutch and immediately die. But I think we can do it. We are quicker. We are quicker than the old project. God, just 8 tenths or something up with double the power, or almost double. I think the Competizione had 300 horsepower. This one has 500. But yeah, the characteristics are not so nice. I guess you could definitely find 3, 4, 5 more seconds if you get a good lap. But these slow corners don't really work so well with this car. I think on more flowing circuits it would behave a little bit nicer. But anything first or second gear just doesn't work. The problem is at these speeds you don't have any downforce yet, so all of the wings don't really help. But here through the slingshot definitely it felt a lot better than what we had before. Much more planted, much more stable. I wonder if I should do another lap at some point, just to see how fast this thing really can be. But for now, let's leave it at this time and say this is the price you pay for the drivability. 212 is definitely still good. Yeah, and for now that's it. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for all your support, also to the channel members. And yeah, see you all again very soon. Bye bye.